Good evening, I'm Adam Gallo.
And I'm Lila Gurl. Here's what's coming up next on Panthervision.
Make this the central hub of the university and nightlife.
We'll tell you if the Union is getting renovated or completely rebuilt. And it all happens in an instant. Find out what this friendly mob was doing at Bayshore. All that and more, up next on Panthervision.
From the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, this is UW-M Panthervision. A weekly newscast reported, written, and produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. And now, the news.
Good evening. The votes are in, and the face of the UW-M Union is one step closer to getting a big makeover.
The referendum on whether to build a new union passed by a margin of 72% to 28%. About 4,000 students voted. That's only 15% of the entire student body. Supporters say they are excited about the project.
It's a historic day for the university, for the future of this university, so I couldn't be more excited.
It'll give us a new sense of pride. I think that's probably the most exciting thing that has happened in my career since 1972 when I started here.
This is just the beginning of the approval process. The referendum needs to be passed by the SA, the UW Board of Regents, and the state legislature.
The approval comes after an all-out campaign on the part of supporters and opponents. Panthervision's Faith Leonard has the story.
Bruno Silva cares about UW-Milwaukee's student union.
The model here, this is Kenwood, and then we have Zalazo Center, the housing here that the students share, and Maryland, which we are now proposing as the actual entrance to the university, which if you kind of walk around the university, it's pretty ambiguous. There's really no entry sequence to it.
He knows the spacious union is not being used efficiently.
Make this the central hub of the university and nightlife to be at, instead of just everybody wandering around the campus. It is a campus. You should, feel at home.
Either way, the current union is getting a makeover.
So if you vote yes, that means you want a new student union. If you vote no, that means you don't want a union and you want a renovation.
SDS member Michael Gold believes a new union is a misuse of student fees.
A new building is just too much. It's too much for us to pay for. We can't afford it.
He knows the current union is in need of repairs and would prefer a renovation.
I don't think that it's so bad that it needs to be condemned, destroyed, and rebuilt.
UW-M Student Association president supports the proposed union after she saw the maintenance issues a few years ago.
I think it's a great idea. I think the plans that I've seen are they're very good, and I think that they're actually using the space very efficiently.
Other students, like Charlie Scherer, think that the cost of a new union justifies the means.
I have no problem with a new union. I would love a new union.
The union's future is in the students' hands. In Milwaukee, I'm Faith Leonard for Panthervision.
Construction for the new union will begin in 2015 and should be finished in 2018. Segregated fees will increase beginning in 2015, starting at $70 per semester. Fee increases are capped at $282 per semester.
2 newcomers and 4 veterans are on the campaign trail for Student Association President and Vice President. Elections are just more than a week away, and all 3 parties are out promoting their platforms. Panthervision's Michael Meidenbauer finds out what these candidates have to offer.
On any given day, you can find a bake sale in the union. But this week,
United Panthers Student Association?
You'll find presidential candidates for the Student Association. Rick Banks says the SA is worried about the wrong things.
Too much focusing on how we do things and not on what we're actually doing.
Which he says gets in the way of their work.
There's a lot of not focusing on actually getting things done for the students.
Rick says that results, not rules, should come first to the SA.
If you have a very results-based administration, then I think you can definitely start to move in the right direction.
All right, well, I'm running for president. My party's called the Allied Student Voice.
Dan Laughlin says that he would streamline the SA.
we're in a government institution. Bureaucracy kind of comes with the territory, but I'm trying to minimize it as much as possible.
He says the paperwork is hurting student organizations.
There's 100 little piddly rules that cut people out of funding, and it's a really depressing process for everyone.
New leadership could jumpstart the SA, says Dan.
So the thing I'm trying to do is rally people together, build some more teamwork, build some cooperation, and get that momentum going again so we can really start getting things done.
Parking is an important issue for Jory DeLoach.
We have like 35,000 students here, but not nearly enough parking for all of them.
And that the process of funding student organizations is confusing and difficult.
A lot of people aren't getting the money that they think that they should get or what they're asking for without a good reason why.
Jory says he and his running mate are in a good position to act on these problems.
What Hugo and I bring is an outside view. We haven't been involved, we don't have those enemies and those friends that we're trying to deal with.
The candidates are going after these issues, one voter at a time.
If I can still give you one of these, you can follow
in Milwaukee,
up on our website.
I'm Michael Meidenbauer for Panthervision.
The SA election campaign is now in full swing.
And that includes a live televised debate. Candidates for president and vice president squared off in a debate sponsored by the UW-Post and the Broadcast Club at UWM. They answered questions from the studio audience and the moderator.
I think we definitely have a higher moral standing than some previous candidates had. Given what past previous candidates did, I was around. I did not participate in any of the things that they were, accused of or that, that they did. So that's one thing that sets us apart.
First of all, I'm going to cut back on spending for the president executive branch. I already said I was going to work for free next year if I'm elected president, and I plan on keeping that promise. And I'm going to make sure everyone works. I'm going to hold everyone accountable, too. I will not be afraid to fire someone and throw them on their bus if they do something wrong. Thank you.
The people in our party are the ones who have supported things reforming the outreach and ethics and ending the cronyism that exists in the executive branch right now, forcing search and screen processes, opening it up to the entire student body so that we end the practice of hiring your friends. In addition, more outreach for senators, forcing them to connect with the students, involve their voice in everything we do. We also have the people on our party who were the ones instrumental in calling out these ethical violations last semester and making sure that things like that never happen again.
Voting is April 10th through the 12th. Ballots will be distributed via email.
Students and community members are using sound and silence in equal measure to spread their message at UWM. Dozens gathered in Spates Plaza with their hoods up and mouths covered in candy wrappers to show support for slain teen Trayvon Martin. Students for a Democratic Society is one of the groups organizing the event.
We're out here protesting the racist criminal justice system that's allowing Trayvon Martin's killer, George Zimmerman, to go free.
On campus before returning to the union to speak to a crowd. Topics included concerns about racial inequality and unfair loss of life.
Just making sure people understand that it's more so about justice, and it's not so much emphasis on this particular case, but on the law system, on the criminal justice system, and equality and rights for everybody.
Organizers are planning a larger event for April 10th, with a march beginning on Martin Luther King Drive.
The search for UW-Milwaukee alumnus Thomas Hecht is over, and it's the ending family and friends feared. The 28-year-old went missing after an early St. Patrick's Day pub crawl on March 10th. Family and friends organized searches, but authorities discovered his body in the Milwaukee River on March 21st. Police ruled his death as accidental. UWM is saddened by the loss of another of its students. Friends and family gathered at a candlelight vigil in honor of Jacob Winkler. Henry Williams has the story.
100 or so supporters showed up at Pius High School in support of Jacob Winkler at a vigil held in his honor. Shocked and confused by this tragic loss, many didn't want to talk on camera.
I want to thank everyone for coming. I don't have much to say. I'm speechless.
During the visual, they shared sentiments and previous experiences that brought joy to the gathering. Jacob, known as Jake to family and friends, originally from Menominee Falls, died over spring break in Panama City, Florida. Jake was a UWM student majoring in business and had just celebrated his 21st birthday the 1st of March. It was a very somber scene that drew tears as many needed a shoulder to lean on. Here's what one friend had to say.
Jacob was a great man, great man. He'd do anything for anyone. There's a mission he had to do. He was going to do it no matter what. If he was going to be stopped, he'd find a way around it. It's just so sad, so sudden, unexpected. He was out doing something that he loved to do, partying, and it's just sad seeing someone go like that.
In Milwaukee, I'm Henry Williams for Panthervision.
Jacob's family has set up a memorial fund. The Jacob Winkler Scholarship Foundation will award scholarships to a Pius High School graduating senior.
The UWM community campus is grieving the loss of 2 professors. Dr. Mary Pat Kunert collapsed while in the student lounge in Cunningham Hall. Students attempted CPR, but Kunert died shortly after being admitted into Columbia St. Mary's. And communication professor Renee Myers lost her battle to lung cancer. She is survived by her husband and 2 daughters.
3 armed robbery cases have been reported to UWM police since the beginning of the spring 2012 semester. The latest happened on campus in broad daylight. As I found out, students are pledging to stick together while walking on campus. It's the setting of the latest campus armed robbery. The alleyway between Golda Meir Library and Hartford Avenue Elementary School is used by students all the time.
I walk down this alleyway every day.
Sophomore Heather Meyer says she is shocked a robbery would occur during the day.
I hear of robberies all the time just off campus, but this was actually really kind of unfortunate.
Rick Banks, speaker for Student Association, says they are scheduling a Refuse to be a Victim program.
It's a workshop that teaches people how to, safe practices like not walking alone at night, what numbers to have readily available on your phone.
Should students not have numbers such as BOSS, SAFE, or UWM Police in their phone, there are a number of emergency phones available on campus. Lieutenant Adrian Bump of UWM Police says the SAFE phones are used often and police are quick to respond to the calls.
They provide a value to the people that live and work here on campus.
Lieutenant Bump also sends out an important message to students in regards to the recent robbery.
So if you can kind of lift your head up and pay attention to what's around you when you're walking, it's a really big key to being safe and knowing what's around you.
Heather Meyer agrees with Lieutenant Bump and gives her own message.
Definitely be aware of your surroundings and don't be distracted by being on your cell phone or anything like that.
As students continue walking through the alleyway, you can be sure they are being aware of their surroundings. In Milwaukee, I'm Lila Girl for Panthervision. UWM safe phones are marked with bright blue safety lights. When we return, we'll introduce you to some high school students who do more than shop at the mall.
And we'll tell you why you may not be getting a tan anytime soon. All that and more when we come back.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Bayshore Mall customers sometimes get more than they are shopping for.
Panthervision's Rebecca Olmec has the story.
Maggie Anderson is an average Whitefish Bay high school senior.
She's planning her future.
I'm kind of leaning towards UWM.
And she spends time at the mall with her friends. But Maggie does more than shop. She takes multitasking to a new level. Her best buddies, Wisconsin.
A student with a disability will be paired with a student without a disability, and they'll do activities like go bowling, go to the movies. They've had like a Halloween party, and you guys can see like some of the pictures and stuff of what they did.
Spread the Word to End the Word is the campaign which aims to eliminate the use of the word retarded.
Very offensive, and it should not be used at all.
These are causes close to Maggie's heart.
I have a brother who actually has like a disability.
So she coordinated an event at Bayshore Mall.
A lot of the schools did the campaign in their school, which is great, but she wanted to kind of bring it into the community.
The event did more than raise awareness. It raised eyebrows. Not even a false fire alarm. To bring down their energy or stop their smiles during the surprise performance.
I'm really grateful for like starting this whole thing. I love it. It's been a huge part of me this whole senior year.
In Glendale, I'm Rebecca Omick for Panthervision.
Anyone is welcome to donate to Best Buddies or sign up for their friendship walk on April 21st.
UWM's men's soccer coach has been fired. Chris Wally was accused of using racial slurs and acting in a manner that does not meet UWM athletic standards. An assistant coach was also investigated, but was cleared. All of the details have not been disclosed, but Chancellor Michael Lovell issued a statement. He says, quote, "We have a tremendous responsibility to ensure that our student athletes are treated with dignity and respect at all times. Going forward, we will take steps to ensure that members of our men's soccer team train and compete in a positive environment."
University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire Chancellor Brian Levin Stankovich will be taking a new job in July. He will become the 17th president at Westminster College in Salt Lake City. He was selected after a 7-month search that drew 60 applicants. Levin Stankovich has been Eau Claire's chancellor since 2006. And controversy has been swirling around Bill 275 and its impact on MATC's board and students. Megan Kafusman has the story in tonight's MATC report.
I'm here at Milwaukee Public Television on MATC's downtown campus, where the bright lights of the studio were almost shut down for good. On March 16th, the Wisconsin State Senate signed a bill Kathleen Hull, Director of Public Relations at MATC, says will mean major changes for the board.
275 changes the appointment process for our district board members. The second part is new requirements for the types of people who serve on the district board and a requirement to have more business and for-profit representation.
The controversy surrounding the bill's original version left many wondering about the college's future with MPTV.
Originally to disband the board immediately, which would have affected our FCC licenses.
The loss of MPTV's FCC license seemed like the end of the station's relationship with the college, causing a domino effect that could have also ended the video production degree altogether. But the state Senate, along with FCC lawyers, came up with a less drastic solution. MPTV General Manager Ellis Bromberg has been following the situation closely.
Our FCC attorney, an independent FCC attorney, came to a compromise that will result in not the entire board turning over at one time. Presumably, they will still be concerned about the community and the business community and our students.
At MATC for Panthervision, I'm Morgan Kafusman.
The bill will not affect Wisconsin's other technical college boards.
A shaken community is looking to one UWM faculty member for answers. Geosciences professor Keith Sverdrup is the one who figured out that the rumblings in Clintonville are being caused by earthquakes. University equipment detected several 1.5 magnitude quakes. The earthquakes explain the shaking of the ground, but Sverdrup says the booming heard over the recent weeks is still a mystery.
Tom Momberg is here now with the weather.
Hey guys, how was your weekend?
It was good. How was yours?
How was yours?
Yeah, all right. I could have done for a little bit nicer weather.
Definitely, I totally hear you. What's the weather going to be like this week?
Well, I don't know. Today it's supposed to be pretty sunny, pretty nice. As we move into tonight, possibly seeing some thunderstorms, some crummy weather. move on through the morning. Hopefully that'll dissipate. Nice weather, hopefully, as the weekend comes up. And, might be good, might not be, maybe a little cooler. We are right next to the lake. Right now, 43 degrees as the high, dew point 36 degrees, pressure 39.98 on the barometer, and sunny, hopefully. I don't know how long that's going to last, but throughout the rest of the day, it should be pretty sunny, high 54, wind west-southwest at 11 miles per hour, and precipitation at 30%, so we'll probably see some thunderstorms. The lows today, up in Rhinelander tonight, we'll see 42 degrees. Down here in Milwaukee, we'll see 46 degrees. A little further west, it'll be a little nicer overnight. But once again, we do have the lake effect, which will move us into the highs for today, which we can see it's going to be pretty warm in Milwaukee. But when we move further west to Madison, Eau Claire, nice. Would rather be over there, but we do have to deal with Lake Michigan. Rhinelander, 59 degrees, and tonight we'll see 47 degrees, winds southeast at 14 miles per hour, and isolated thunderstorms. Hopefully, again, we'll see those dissipate as maybe even tonight or the early morning tomorrow. 61 degrees high, 39 degrees low. North-northwest winds at 16 miles per hour, so hopefully it's not too windy. Might kind of bring down the point. High on Wednesday, 55 degrees, 37 in the night, partly cloudy, northeast winds 13 miles per hour. And as the week progresses, Wednesday, 55 degrees, Thursday, 46 degrees, hopefully getting nicer as the weekend progresses. Although I'm not sure what it's going to look like for us Saturday and Sunday.
Well, it looks like the weather is getting a little bit nicer than it was last week. I wish we could get the weather back that we had over spring break.
Yeah, that would be ideal, wouldn't it?
It would.
Well, thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Coming up next, the baseball team is finally home. We'll tell you how they did.
And one Lady Panther brings down the hammer on a school record.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Well, there's no place like home.
Henry Williams joins us now with sports.
Thanks, Lila. A sophomore is hammering down records for the women's track and field team. Powerhouse Nancy Harmon broke her own record under Vanderbilt's Friday Night Lights. She cleared 178 feet 11 inches on her first hammer throw, crushing her old school record of 166.6. Harmon and her teammates are back in Milwaukee on April 5th for a crosstown contest at Marquette. After 6 weeks on the road, UW men's Panthers are finally playing baseball at home. Panthervision's Matt Cash has the story.
It was a cold March day for baseball, but it didn't stop a twin bill against the Panthers and the Flames of UIC. The Panthers didn't disappoint in their home debut, splitting the doubleheader. The first game featured a gutty performance from starting pitcher Eric Semmelhock, who tied a school record for strikeouts in a game, which is 13. Unfortunately, the Panthers were unable to get the bats going and lost 1-0. In the second game, the bats came alive. In the 6th inning, sophomore Sam Koenig hit a 2-out, bases-loaded single to the right-hand side of the infield that drove in 2 runs. Another 2-out hit by Will Fadness in the 8th inning plated 2 more, and the Panthers finished the game on top 7-1. According to coach Scott Doffick, there was a clear difference between the first and second game.
Something that we've been missing. You know, what hitting we've done, we just haven't done it with runners in scoring position. And today starts off with Fadness getting the big 2-out home run. I believe that's in the first inning, maybe the second inning. We get the momentum in our dugout, and then we tacked on a little bit throughout the game with some key hits.
Real story of the day was the pitching by the 2 starters.
Our pitchers have been throwing great the whole year.
But
we
teammates
had 2 great outings. Like first game was a 2-hitter, I think, and only 1 run given up. And then this game we only gave up 1 run. So,
Cale Tassi got the win in the second game, striking out 9 batters. On the day, the Panthers struck out 24 batters. At Henry Aaron Field in Milwaukee, I'm Matthew Cash for Panthervision.
Up next for the Panthers is a home game against Cardinal Stritch University on Wednesday. The Sweet 16 isn't so sweet for Wisconsin sports fans. Both Marquette and Wisconsin took hard hits in the 4th round of the NCAA tournament. Wisconsin's heartbreaker came first, losing to number 1 seeded Syracuse by just 1 point. The Badgers finished with a 26-10 record. Senior guard Jordan Taylor was named All-American Honorable Mention last week by the Associated Press. Marquette's Golden Eagles lost to the number 7 seeded Florida Gators. They fell behind at the close of the first half and never caught stride again. The final score was a humbling 68-58. Marquette's Jay Crowder and Darius Johnson Odom received second team and honorable mention All-American recognition. UW Green Bay is looking for a new women's basketball coach. One of the most successful coaches in league's history has accepted an offer from the University of Illinois. Boylantz leaves UWGB with a record of 148 wins and 19 losses. Boylant is the 3rd women's coach out of only 4 total at UW Green Bay to move on to the Big Ten Conference. Associate head coach Mike Divelbliss is in the running to be Boylant's replacement. Boylant says he'll reserve a spot for Divelbliss at Illinois just in case he doesn't get the Green Bay gig. That's it for sports. Back to you, Lila and Alan.
Television and video production students at MATC are being honored for their work.
The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association has given top honors to some student productions.
MATC reporter Paul Cotter has details.
Students enrolled in MATC's TV and video production program, the experience is often described with 3 little words.
It's hard work.
For Jacob Fatke and Nate Chardine, all that hard work made accepting several student awards for excellence from the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association all the more gratifying.
To be recognized for that is really satisfying and knows you're doing a good job, but also inspires you to do a better job on the next thing that you do.
Along with fellow students Phil Kraus, Andy Ilk, and Tony Cole, they won in the long-form production non-news category for Our Clear Responsibility, a documentary about conserving our water resources. Chardine, Fatke, Kraus, and Cole teamed up to win first place in the news series documentary division for Perseverance, Climbing the Flatlands, about the challenges of climbing in the Midwest. And Chardine, Fatke, and Kraus also claimed the third place award in the same category for Landscape Pioneer H.H. Bennett, which tells the story of an early Wisconsin landscape photographer.
I like working with Nate. I think we collaborate well together. I like collaborating with Jake because he kind of picks up where I lack.
Panthervision, a newscast produced at MATC in cooperation with the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, also won several awards in the news category.
It's exciting to hear that Panthervision has also won some awards.
Winning the WBA awards has shown these talented students that working hard does have its rewards. Reporting from MATC, this is Paul Cotter for Panthervision.
second-year television and video production students handle all the technical aspects of UW and Panthervision. The WBA honored Panthervision with its Best Newscast Award.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of Panthervision.
You can watch us anytime on Time Warner's Wisconsin On Demand Channel 411.
You can also see us on Time Warner Channel 14 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99 at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays.